are going to have a lesson about clauses. Understand what is a clause? A clause is a group of words which contains a verb and its subject and is used as a part of a sentence. So a clause has a subject and a verb. Not every sentence expresses a complete thought. So the clauses are not usually giving you a complete idea. Sometimes you don't understand it, so they don't give a complete idea. Types of clauses. First one is independent clause, or we call it main clause. In this type, it expresses a complete idea and can stand alone in a sentence. As the teacher nodded her head angrily. This is a complete sentence, contains subject, verb, object, and adverb. Second type, dependent clause or subordinate clause. In this type, the sentence can't express a complete thought and can't stand alone. As if I said, when someone made so much noise. So what happened when someone made so much noise? This is an unclear sentence. How to make the dependent clause complete? The thought expressed by a dependent clause becomes complete when it is combined with an independent clause. So the previous two sentences can be combined together in order to be meaningful. The teacher nodded her head angrily when someone made so much noise. So the second part, when someone made so much noise, here made sense. We understand what happened when someone made so much noise. The teacher nodded her head angrily. Dependent clauses are not all of the same type. There are three different types of dependent clause: adjective clauses, noun clauses, and adverb clauses, which are usually also called relative clause. It does the work of an adjective and describes a noun. It's usually introduced by a relative pronoun whom, whose, that, and which. We are going to illustrate them more and more examples later on. Now let's take a simple example. Scientists have invented a vaccine that cured many people. In this sentence, you can observe that it is made up of a subject, scientists have invented, verb, a vaccine, complete object. Here, the relative pronoun is that cured many people. That cured many people is a complete sentence that describes the word vaccine. Let's see another example. I saw the girl whose dad owned a gift shop near my house. I subject, so verb, the girl, object, complete sentence. Whose dad owned a gift shop is a clause that describes the word the girl. So as you can see, the relative clause or the adjective clause directly follows the noun it describes, as in this sentence too. He told me about the time when he was very gloomy. When he was very gloomy is a relative clause that describes the word the time. Examples. Chocolate, which many people adore, is fattening. People who are smart follow the rules. I can remember the time when cell phones didn't exist. Charlie has a friend whose daughters live in China. The reason why Hella went to law school is that she didn't want to be a doctor. In all of these sentences, the relative clause directly follows the noun it describes. Each adjective clause above also contains a subject and a verb, all of which work together to describe the original noun being modified. For example, the clause which many people adore contains the subject people and the verb adore, yet by itself it is not a complete sentence. Instead, its job is to provide more info to describe the noun chocolate. Let's take some notes. It is common for relative pronouns to be omitted, so sometimes I don't see the relative pronoun in the sentence. I don't see which, I don't see who, I don't see whom. They are omitted, but they clarify, they do the same purpose. Look at this example. The carpets which you bought last year have gone moldy. I can say also the carpet you bought last year have gone moldy. Both are correct, but yet it is not applied for all the relative pronouns. For example, a person who talks when you wish him to listen is annoying. I can't omit who. So why? Since the meaning differs. A person talks when you wish him to listen is annoying. It's a little bit weird. When the adjective clause starts with a relative adverb, when, where, why, the relative adverb cannot be omitted. So, I don't remember a time when words were not dangerous. Here I can omit the word when. Use a comma before relative pronoun. Don't use a comma if your clause is essential, which means it is required to identify its noun. It is called restrictive clause, as in this sentence. My cousin, who lives in China, is 32. I can't omit who lives in China. Maybe I have too many cousins. But do use a comma if your clause is just additional information. It is called non-restrictive clause, as my mom or my mother, who lives in Italy, is 68. We have only one mom, so we can omit it. Now, let's come to adverb clause or subordinate clause modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb. It tells how, when, where, and why an action occurred. Usually it is introduced by a subordinate clause. That. An adverb clause can also be placed before the main clause without changing the meaning, but a comma should be added, as they will visit you before they go to the airport, or we may say before they go to the airport, comma, they will visit you, so I can switch between them. Here are some examples of common types. Where, to talk about a place, wherever there are computers, there is a Microsoft software. When, after the fruit is harvested, it is sold out. Here we have the adverb clause. For example, wherever there are computers, it is the adverb clause. The main clause is there is Microsoft software. In sentence 2, after the fruit is harvested, this is the adverb clause. It is sold at the market is the main clause. I didn't call her because I'm shy. Because I'm shy is the adverb clause. As you can see, we didn't put any comma before because it is in the middle. I didn't call her is the main clause. She took a computer course so that shows the result. She got a better job, and so on. What you have to do, you have to scan the text page 54 in your book, which is the same here in this video, to find different clauses, different type of clauses. Here the writer used many types. You have to list them, and you have to say the noun clauses, you have to list them, adverb clauses, list them, and adjective clauses, and so on. This is the first is you have to do some writing. Regarding our unit, which is about teenagers, young and old people are two separate groups of people in society that differ in their behavior, their likes, dislikes, and their nature. In a short paragraph, compare and contrast using the different types of clauses between young and old people. So you have to write a short paragraph comparing young and old using the types of clauses you have just learned. Hope this was useful.